Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the most pressing stories of our time. I'm your host, Walter, and we're glad you're joining us today. As we explore the complexities of our world, we strive to bring you fair and balanced reporting without taking sides or promoting any particular agenda. Today, we're going to tackle a story that's been making headlines around the globe. The conflict in Gaza has resulted in a staggering number of casualties, with thousands of people killed and many more displaced. According to reports, the ratio of civilian casualties among the dead is alarmingly high, with some estimates suggesting that as many as 80% of those killed are non-combatants. We want to approach this story with sensitivity and respect for all parties involved. The Israeli government has stated that its actions are a necessary response to attacks by Hamas, while Palestinian leaders argue that the Israeli military's tactics are disproportionate and violate international humanitarian law. To better understand the situation, let's take a closer look at the numbers. A classified database reportedly contains information on nearly 40,000 individuals considered by the Israeli army to be militants, with around 6,500 of those estimated to have been killed. However, some analysts argue that this number may be inflated and that the actual number of militant casualties could be significantly lower. Meanwhile, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza continues to deepen, with many residents struggling to access basic necessities like food and shelter. The international community has called for a ceasefire and an end to hostilities, but so far, a lasting resolution has proven elusive. As we navigate this complex and sensitive topic, we'll aim to provide you with a nuanced understanding of the issues at play. We'll explore the historical context, the current situation on the ground, and the potential implications for the region and beyond. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're halfway through our show today, and we're diving into a fascinating topic that's been making headlines lately. Today, we're exploring the latest developments in immigration trends in the United States. According to recent reports from Pew Research, the immigrant population in the U.S. has seen a decline, which is attributed to changes in immigration policies at the border and increased enforcement efforts. The data suggests that this decline may be partly artificial due to a decreasing response rate by immigrants to census surveys. However, experts note that this drop could have significant implications for the U.S. economy, as the workforce relies heavily on new immigrants to grow. Now, let's take a closer look at the numbers. The unauthorized population in the U.S. reached a record high of 14 million in 2023, driven largely by individuals with some protection from deportation. However, early data indicates that this growth has slowed down in 2024 and may even be declining in 2025. It's essential to consider the complexities surrounding immigration policies and their impact on communities. On one hand, increased enforcement efforts may deter some individuals from attempting to cross the border or remain in the country without proper documentation. On the other hand, these policies can also lead to increased arrests, detentions, and deportations, which can have far-reaching consequences for families and local economies. As we examine this issue, it's crucial to acknowledge that immigration is a multifaceted topic, influenced by various factors such as economic conditions, conflict, and environmental changes. The U.S. has historically been a nation of immigrants, and the current demographic trends reflect a shift in the countries of origin, with more individuals arriving from South America rather than traditional sending countries like Mexico or Central America. As we continue to navigate this complex landscape, it's essential to prioritize fact-based discussions and consider the human impact of these policies. By doing so, we can work towards creating a more nuanced understanding of the issues at hand and fostering constructive dialogue about the role of immigration in shaping the future of our country. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're wrapping up today's show with a look at the latest news from the world of retail. Walmart, one of the biggest players in the game, has just released its quarterly earnings report, and it's a mixed bag. On the one hand, U.S. sales growth was stronger than expected, coming in at 4.6% for the quarter. That's a good sign for the company, especially considering the current economic uncertainty. The wholesale subscription business, Sam's Club, also saw solid growth, with same-store sales increasing by 5.9%. On the other hand, Walmart's profit outlook missed forecasts, and the company reported adjusted earnings per share of 0.68, below the 0.74 that analysts were expecting. This was due in part to one-time charges related to legal matters and restructuring. Now, it's worth noting that Walmart is navigating some challenging terrain right now, with tariff-related uncertainty affecting consumer behavior and pushing prices higher. The company is trying to keep its prices as low as possible for as long as possible, but it's clear that this is a delicate balancing act. As we look ahead to the rest of the year, Walmart is expecting net sales to increase between 3.275% and 4.75%, which is a slightly more optimistic outlook than previously forecast. However, the company is also warning that prices will likely increase in the second half of the year as it replenishes inventory at post-tariff price levels. Overall, it's a complex situation, and Walmart's earnings report reflects the challenges and opportunities that the company is facing. As always, we'll be keeping a close eye on developments in the retail sector and bringing you all the latest news and analysis here on Concrete Block. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.